All right, let's take a look at the outline. I've already written out some things that I've already done. This is going to be a full introduction to watercolor course. So introduction about watercolor, about the paper, the washes, brush control ratio, and transparency. Actually, all of these videos I have filmed and edited a long time ago. You can find them on my YouTube channel. This is like the very basic introduction to what you need to do to start understanding how to use watercolor. I made a note here already done, which means that I don't need to film these again. Okay, the next one is I want to focus on the technique wet on dry with shapes. And it says done, but I want to refilm. So actually, as part of my first original watercolor course, I had created these videos, painting a cube, painting a cone, painting a sphere. But I want to refilm them because I think at the time, I didn't explain it as clearly as I could. Some of the feedback I got from that course was that some things were not clear. I'm very grateful to have that feedback. Now I know, okay, I need to explain it a little bit more clearly, slow things down, maybe not speed through all of the, painting process, and make it a bit slower so students can go along with the videos slowly. Next section, I have been filming some of this, and some of these color basics are on my YouTube channel as well. So once you understand how to use watercolor, I think the next step is really understanding how to use color. And so this section is all about that. Okay, and then the next section is really a mix of techniques. And this section is empty because I don't really know what to put on it yet.
Just kidding, I actually know what I'm putting in this section, but I want to save it for the actual course. The next couple of weeks I will be filming, so there's not that much to share. But if you would like to follow along, I will keep you updated in my weekly vlog videos. For the scavenger hunt, I really just wanted to find a new way to interact with the parks around me. I chose 6 different textures that I thought I would find in the park. The first texture is wood, and that's pretty simple because I've done a lot of wood bark textures before. I start with drawing out the lines, and then I try to make sure that there's one specific shape that I can always go back to as my reference point, because it's really easy to get lost when there's so many similar shapes and lines. Next up we have stone. Once again, I start with the kind of like lines that I see first. Then I think about, okay, where's the shadow coming from? Which sections do I need to make darker or lighter? And then I tried to fill in some little marks to make it look like that stone texture. And by the way, I have a section called Drawing Texture in my Learn Beginner's Drawing Skills course. You can find it on Udemy or also on my Patreon. The links are down below. Next up is soil. Honestly, this one was really difficult to draw, but I thought I wanted to challenge myself to draw soil because it's kind of just like one giant texture or shade, and then it has a bunch of little like marks in the middle. So I don't know if I did a super good job, but I tried my best. Next up, I moved locations. As you can see, it's the only place with shade. It was a pretty hot day, so I tried to make sure that I stayed in the shade. And this is the Beitou Hot Spring Museum, which is adjacent to the Beitou Park. There are a lot of interesting textures here, starting with brick. This is another texture that you can find on my Drawing Textures course. Next up, I really wanted to try rust, and I was lucky enough that there was this rusty bolt here right in the corner where I was sketching brick. This one was also quite interesting and a little bit difficult. It's a mixture of marks and lines to create that texture, and also I'm only using one pencil, so you really have to be able to understand how to vary the pressure to make sure that you're getting different marks and different darks and lights. I haven't been using just pencil that often, so it's quite nice to kind of change it up, go back to basics using graphite pencil. It's a really good exercise to help you to understand darks and lights, values, and also since you have one pencil, you really have to build up the texture slowly. So it's a good exercise in also teaching patience. I'm one of those people who really want to speed through everything, but this exercise helped me to slow down a lot. Finally, the last texture was left blank. I really didn't know what to do, but then I saw this interesting limestone, which actually ended up being even more difficult than rust because it's really just a bunch of little tiny stones and then the sort of, cement or whatever mixture to hold all of those tiny stones together. I'm not an expert in building, so I'm not really sure how they make this, but that's what I assume. And finally, the 6 textures are done. I really had fun playing around, getting outside, and interacting with the different textures. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week.